All right, ladies and gentlemen, what is good? What is good? What is good? Of course, you know who I be, Good Doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again, with one of the more interesting Philippine news topics that I can cover in recent months. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without sugarcoating it, without wasting too much time, let me go ahead and get to the point of the video. Before I get to it though, guys, make sure you get the like, subscribe, do everything you need to do to become well-versed in the Good Doc's content. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys later on in the video why this video is somewhat important to me in reference to some opinions that I've had in the past. But as of late, current Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte has been under some quote-unquote scandalous news about his health. Now, apparently, it has been noted that his Barrett's esophagus illness was something that he was diagnosed with years ago. But it's resurfacing now because people are starting to believe that the president has cancer because his doctor told him that the Barrett's esophagus illness could potentially lead towards stage 1 cancer. Now, as many people know, some people may not know, stage 1 cancer is curable. So it is not as if he does get it, that it's going to be detrimental. Now, I say that loosely because you got to understand the president is roughly about 74 years of age. And when you're diagnosed with something in the later years of your life, it does seem to take longer to either cure yourself of it, going through the process of chemo or whatever it takes in order to cure what you have takes a toll on your body. And let's be honest, although I love him, president ain't no spring chicken, ladies and gentlemen. So you don't want to put your president through that particular process in order to, to get healthy again. Now, apparently his Barrett's esophagus illness came about because of poor dieting, and he used to drink a lot, and they said since the diagnosis has taken place that he stopped drinking. But because of this news resurfacing, a lot of people are like, well, oh God, the president is sick. What's going to happen? Is he going to step down? People are trying to force him to step down. People are asking what is going to be the state of the Philippine economy? What is going to be the state of the nation at the particular moment in time should something dramatic happen to the president? Again, nobody wishes that on anybody, but I guess, the worriness of some people can get the better of them. Now, as I was sitting here reading the article, even I had some thoughts, and these are thoughts and expressions that I've shared with you guys before. I may not have posed or phrased the question in this particular light, but I can honestly say that I have spoken upon or along these lines in recent weeks, actually, in a live stream, I think. But before I get into my thoughts on that one, let me take you back just about a decade or so ago. Now, I mentioned to you guys before that, of course, even if you've been living under a rock, you might know that President Duterte was the mayor of Davaos City for 21 years. He was either a mayor or vice mayor for a 21-year span. Now, y'all know I came from Davao. Davao was home to me. Whenever I'm in the Philippines, it's my home away from home. So you guys know that I have the utmost respect for the man. But in the early 90s, before I even got to the Philippines, before I even visited, there was a brief moment in time, probably about a 3-year span or so, whatever the duration or a term is for a mayor during that time. I can't remember off the top of my head, where he was not in office. And they said, and I quote, that was the years that Davao saw its highest crime rates ever. Let me say that again. The time in which current President Duterte, mayor at the time of Davao, was not in office was the time that the city of Davao saw its highest increase in crime rate ever. As soon as he gets back in office, that shit goes away. Now, that brings a very important point to me, because now you're looking at him from a national level, not just a, city or provincial or divisional area. He is now the president of a nation. And whether you agree or disagree with policy, whether you agree or disagree about the way he goes about things, the man is getting results the way he is getting those results. And so it begs the question, heaven forbid something happened to this man during his term, but who was our next option, guys? I want y'all to think about that. Who was the next option? Only my Filipinos will probably know this. Most of my foreigners will not, but it is a young lady by the name of Lenny Robredo. So Lenny Robredo. That goes to show you how much I know about it. No disrespect to her, but she is the vice president of the country right now. And it's interesting, and I don't do politics at all. But, you know, I just wanted to briefly touch on this one. Again, we're doing surface level stuff. I'm not getting into personal opinions. I'm just talking about the video as it stands. But you guys noticed that the president and vice president in the United States, they kind of work in tandem. You know, they kind of are a team. A president chooses a vice president. They work together. That is very different in the Philippines because they have a presidential election and a vice president election. So whoever's running for VP, you might be connected to a person and a party, but that doesn't mean that if the president party wins, that the VP is going to get the automatic nod too. You know, they vote for vice presidents, so they vote separately. It's not, okay, the Trump-Pence ticket or the Biden-Harris ticket. It's, okay, I'm voting for President Duterte, and then all of his competitors are there, or I'm voting for Lenny Robredo, or at the time, I think his VP running mate to an extent was Alan Cayetano. So yeah, Cayetano of course didn't win, but the president did win. So, you know, he ended up getting an office job or whatever. But I'm just saying, I want you guys to understand the landscape. So the vice president and president don't work in tandem. Honestly, I don't think they like each other very much. If you ask me, I don't think that the president and VP of the Philippines don't really care too much for each other. You got to understand they come from two different political parties, with two different political agendas, etc., etc. They have had a war of words in the past, and they've said some things in which they do not condone the behavior of one another. Duterte may say that Robredo may not be strong enough for the position. Robredo might say president is doing the most while he is in office. So again, it's just a battle of the political parties and those running these parties. But again, back to where it stands, ladies and gentlemen, president and VP don't really get along. So if the president is officially out, I don't know how the policy works. I don't know if the VP gets the automatic nod to the presidential spot or if there's another election. I don't know. I have not seen a situation wherein that has happened and there's needed to be a rule enacted for the VP to become president at the time. So I've never seen it. I think the last time that happened, and God rest their soul, was when Cory Aquino was Benigno Aquino II? No, he was a senator. So I think that when Cory Aquino was, when that happened to Cory Aquino, whoever was the VP or whatever was going on in that time, that was the time when they had to find a presidential candidate to take her place. And I think that was the VP. I just don't remember off the top of my head right now. But although I'm giving you like a brief history, I'm wanting to set the landscape for my thought process, wherein if he's gone or if he's out, basically because some people may say, oh, well, he's not physically fit to be president, so he needs to be, let go or relieved of his position. Some people might say that. If that is the case, what happens to the state of the nation? Now, again, I heard something the other day, and I've heard this a while back. There is a belief by a limited few, and it's something that really makes me think when I hear it. But the belief is, if something ever happens to the president or the president is relieved from duty and there's nobody that follows the same presidential thread that is in office right now in the next, phase of the election, the next phase of the terms, what's going to happen is the world's going to turn upside down. You understand? And I bring that back to what was happening in Davaos City during the time when he wasn't in office. It was somewhat pure anarchy in comparison to what Davao is today, just peaceful and silent, with the exception of the occasional incidences. I do admit they have their own problems from time to time, but Davao City more specifically, you never really hear a lot about issues happening in that particular area. So I asked the question, will pure anarchy take over if current president is relieved of duties or no longer able to capably, that's not even a word, or be capable of holding office? Because his way of going about things has been straight to the point in reference to his people. The war on drugs, you guys can talk about it however you want to. I'm staying away from it. How he feels about certain people in office, how he feels about corruption. I'm going to leave that to your imaginations. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. But what I will say is this. Under him, I do see structure. You understand? Whether you like it or not, I see structure. Whether you like the way it's structured or not, I see structure, is the point that I'm trying to make. And if that structure no longer exists, what are we going to say then? Or will it get to the point wherein everybody who was a naysayer or a doubter is going to come back and say, well, damn, although you may have had differing opinions about the man, at least when he was in the position he was in, we could rely on things to be a certain type of way. So there's a lot of, in my opinion, there's a lot at stake. Should there be forcible removal from office or anything medical that takes him away from his position? Again, he's probably close to ending his term. I think he might have maybe a couple of years left. If I remember correctly, he might have just a few years left on his term. But still, a lot can change in a couple of years. And there's nobody saying that, oh, they're going to remove him from office, or, oh God, that it's just going to be, you know, that people are going to forcibly remove him from office, because as it's been said by his own doctor, this was something that may have been diagnosed years ago. Things that they are taking precautions about right now. Things that have been dealt with in the moment. So his Barrett's esophagus illness is apparently taken care of, or it's under wraps, or it's being monitored carefully. And again, he's 74, man. You got to expect the man to have some ailments. I mean, shit, that man been in office for a long time. He likes to ride his motorbikes. I mean, I'm pretty sure he lived that lifestyle. And again, you know, it is what it is. But the way that I see it is, the direction that I see people going, or like the energy level that I see people talking about, you have those that may be in the dislike talking about, oh man, get him out, man, get him out, get him out, get him out. I personally don't think that they understand the ramifications of if that happens. Again, you are entitled to an opinion about anybody. But if there's one thing that I can say from my personal experiences living in a city that he was in charge of, never had a problem. Never had an issue. Could go out at night. Be out as late as I want to. Never in fear for my life. Never in fear somebody's going to try to run up on me. Anything like that. And I'm not saying that it was just because I was a foreigner, because he kind of has the same ideology, more specifically, of course, about his own people. Like you do a crime towards your own, you know what I'm saying, you getting yeeted. Like my man says, you could face just as much trouble as if you're doing it to somebody, you know, that is not Filipino. So I want you guys to note on that. I want you to marinate on that one. They trying to give my man the boot without even giving him a chance, or, you know, they laughing it off right now in the office. But I would be interested to see how the chips unfold in the months to come. We'll see. Maybe they'll have this conversation again. Maybe they'll start, how can I say this, comparing some of the decision making that he's making in office to his particular disease. You know how people like to do, well, if he was insane mind, he wouldn't have made the decisions that he made to do this X, Y, Z, and 1, 2, 3. So I'm just curious to see how this game is going to unfold. Again, maybe that's just my personal investment in the country that has got me where I am today in reference to my thoughts on this particular project or this particular situation. I'm sorry. And we'll see how it plays, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see how the game unfolds. But that's been my time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Keep it clean because you never know who's watching in the comment section. So y'all do what y'all do, man. Have at it like a crack addict. The good doc is officially back. But appreciate you guys being here. I'm about to go ahead and get out. But with that being said, the good doc is officially out. At least knuckle. Paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Mahal kita. Mabuhay. Peace.